computer. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm really excited to be introducing and talking to Ingrid. Ingrid is the founder and relationship coach and chief relaxation officer at a wellness clinic in Sydney. She has been a relationship coach for 11 years and a spa therapist for 21 years. And she's looking after thousands of highly stressed clients from all over the world. She practices Kayangan in 5 Doc and from her clients' homes, offices, and hotel rooms, and now online. Her work is always focused on stress, relaxation, and relationships. And she has a kind soul, always seeking to reach out and support the healing process of many stressed people. I'm sure there's lots of those around at the moment. Yeah. There's also a lot of broken-hearted singles, stressed out parents, and loving couples that come across her path. And she does one-on-one coaching, group sessions, and soon retreats for all those broken-hearted singles as well as loving couples. Welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you so much, Ellie, for welcoming me.
Great. So, Ingrid, it's so exciting to be talking to you because we share a lot of the same passions, you know, again, with the sort of stressed out people, realizing that, with what's going on around the world, there is so much stress, and the stress can affect our relationships and really, put some couples through breaking point. Like I heard in one of the articles recently that so many people have gone to seek out divorce lawyers just after lockdown. And I can imagine just being in close proximity to your partner, for so much and such stressful times can be quite hard. So what is your take on what's going on around the world and how that is impacting people's relationships at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, according to Relationship Australia, this is a couple of months ago that the breakup rate is up by 30% during the COVID lockdown. And a fact, one of my clients, she's a family lawyer, and I asked her during our lunch together, hey, how's business for you? Double. Without a doubt, she said, double. So yeah, probably we're in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
Apparently being a family lawyer is definitely a thing for the moment, but yeah, it's good for them, for the family lawyers, but also I feel sad for the clients. Yes, that it has happened. Obviously they already have issues before COVID, and then COVID lockdowns just make things sort of like boiling to the unbearable point that they have to separate.
So how do you think stress affects our relationship, and what is the most important thing so that we don't get to this boiling point? What can you tell couples out there, how can we prevent going to see the family lawyer?
So you ask what's the most important thing in relationship? Well, there's no one definite answer. For example, for some people, sex is the most important thing, but so without sex for them, there's no relationship, right? But for some others, sex doesn't matter as much, as long as they have great connection, they have deep love for each other. But I think two of the very important things that couples need to have is unconditional love and trust. So I heard once Julianne Moore, the Hollywood actress, said that loving someone is like giving them power to break your heart, but trusting them not to.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so yes, we can love so much, but then we have to trust as well that they won't break our heart.
And what can we do to prevent them breaking our heart, or we breaking their heart? Like, what can we live with so much that's going on? We're all living in close times, and we're like almost seeing each other 24/7. What can we do to basically help that become a more smooth process? Because we all get, sort of frustrated. You're 24/7 with someone and you're very stressed. You might have lost a job. One of the partners, could have lost a job or be under financial stress or pressure. What can we do? What tips do you have? So for couples who are going through that,
Yes. So if I can, there's so many tips, but if I can pin down to top three, number one will be expressing your stress and anxiety and fear to each other. So, openly expressing those things and to validate each other. And therefore comes number 2, regular check-in. So we check in not only their stress, their fears, and also check in on what other ways that we can do to improve this situation. Yes. And number 3 will be to, if the space is the issue, to respect each other's space. Say, for example, if you are working in one room and your partner is working on the other room, so respect that, okay, you're over there, I'm over here, we can come together for lunch or dinner or kid stuff, for example, in the living room, for example, and we just respect each other's space. Say, I give you an example. At the moment, my husband is taking over my treatment room. As soon as lockdown started, he took over my treatment room because he started working from home, and I removed myself to the living room. So this is my living room.
Yes.
Yes, but then if I have clients that come to my clinic, then he has to get out and he moved here. So we respect each other's space.
Yeah. Now that's so important to know which is your space, because even though we live in co-living with people, we still need to have a space which is just ours, or you need to know how to make that space work for so you're not getting into each other's space when they need just to be alone. Even though you're in a couple, there's still times we just want to, have our own company.
Definitely. And solitude is important. So allow each other to have your own solitude, however many minutes that is per day. It is important and refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. So how does a great relationship affect our health and well-being?
Well, there are 7 areas of life, such as career, family, health, financial, social, spiritual, and relationship, right? And I reckon every area of life needs to be fulfilled to some degree. Otherwise, you feel imbalanced, you don't feel happy, you don't feel content, and can affect your health and well-being. And as a relationship coach, I happen to come across a lot of people that have issues with the relationship, either with their partners or with themselves. And by having a void, this is the void in the relationship area due to the lack thereof. Say, for example, they're single and they're very lonely, or having unresolved issues being married or together. It brings them a lot of stress, therefore affecting their health and well-being.
Right. So what can we do? What sort of tips do you have so that we can sort of work around so that we can stay healthy and yet still be in a loving relationship?
Number 1, determine which area of life that is most important to you, because everyone is different. Yeah. So acknowledge each other that, okay, you're different to me. This is my main priority at the moment. Focus on what's most important to you, definitely. When I conduct a vision board workshop for my clients, I always ask them, what are your 3 most important things in your life? For me, for example, 1 is my business, my work. Number 2 is my relationship, and number 3 is my home, including food. So focus on what's important to you.
Right.
And respect that, and try to allow space, talking about space again, allow space for that one most important thing for your partner, so they can achieve that.
Yeah, because we may not have exactly the top 3 same things that are important in our lives.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, so it's about would you say it's about making it work on the differences and trying to, allow each other that space to grow and for what's important to each other and the understanding.
That's right. Yes, that's why regular check-in is important.
How regular would you say is regular?
Once a week, once a fortnight, or when you actually experiencing some intense moments or arguments. Yeah.
So would you say like at least once a week, like a coffee chat, or like just a check-in where you actually allocate that time to sit down and check in with each other and just really talk about, what's on each other's minds, instead of just watching a movie and not talking.
Yeah, definitely.
Date night is like a movie night, but you don't get to talk in movie nights.
Well, you can talk before and after. So yeah, there's opportunity. Yes, yes. Once a week at least.
Okay, perfect. Now, I see a lot of fertility clients, and a lot of my clients are trying for a baby, and that
Yeah.
can get really difficult, you know, when it becomes sort of 3 months, 6 months, even 12 months of trying.
Mm.
And that can put a lot of pressure on both couples, you know, after say 6 to 12 months, if they're not pregnant yet, there's a lot
Yes.
of uh, pressure on each other. And even, you know, sort of the idea of even sex, you know, is not even, you know, it doesn't become fun and, you know, that sort of romantic, you know, lovemaking more. Almost becomes like a chore. What would you say to my clients who, you know, who are going through that sort of journey, and how, and what tips you have for sort of bringing that spark back, especially when it becomes very clinical after a while, you know, when they're looking at starting a family and it's taken a while, and that sort of puts a lot of stress on each other as a couple.
Yes. How can we reduce the pressure on having a
Yeah.
baby? I know. Feels
Yes.
like clockwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my latest podcast, I said to my podcast guest, well, you know, might as well make an appointment to have sex rather than not having sex. But this is not the case for the fertility clients. And I said, you know, just like you're going to your dentist. And then we ended up talking about root canal, which is not very sexy. But anyway, putting a pressure upon yourself is not going to increase the chance of you conceiving,
Yeah.
right? As long as you have done the necessary actions in terms of the physical side of things, such as having sex at the right time of the month, having a better diet,
Yeah.
and better treatments to increase your chance of fertility, or even going through, if you are going through the IVF pathway, you know, energetically, you need to have the trust. I know this may sound kind of woo-woo, but it's not that woo, I think. You need to stop worrying about how things are going to work out. Just trust that they will,
Trust the
because
process.
it will
Yeah.
reduce the pressure to perform. I mean, a lot of guys are complaining to me that, oh, you know, I feel this pressure to perform by my wife, right? So how do we reduce the pressure to perform and therefore reduce your stress level?
Yeah, exactly. There's getting to a point where it becomes so stressful, you know, and that is so correct. You know, it's about trusting the process and not putting that pressure on yourself, you know, just, yeah, don't think about the process. When you overthink it, that's when, you know, it actually becomes, you know, less effective for sure.
Yeah, because you know, when you really, really want something, I get it. I get it that I want something and I do whatever it takes to make it happen. But that energy of, you know, making things happen sometimes actually backfire on you,
Yeah,
because you're not relaxed, you're not going with the flow,
that's right.
you're not practicing on ease, you know. By making things happen, you're not trusting the universe that, hey,
Yes,
actually you can provide for us.
that's right. No, very true. Now, what else would you say you could get the man to, what tips would you have for them to support
Mhm.
their partner in times of stress, and for their general health and wellness, and like, you know, continuing a great loving relationship as a couple? What can the man do to support his partner?
Yeah, especially in the infertility area, right? If the couple has experienced this one. Um, I had this discussion with my husband during our anniversary lunch today, and my husband said, bang her a lot.
Yeah, that would help.
I mean, I love him because he's so humorous. He's not very romantic, but he's very, very humorous. I love him for
Straight
that.
to the point.
Yes, definitely. And so with that, I will say definitely focus on what brought you together
Yeah.
or attracted you to your partner in the first place. Say, just what I said, you know, my husband is not a hopeless romantic, not like me, but he's very humorous, and that's what attracted me to him. Like, he's so funny, he's so sarcastic, but you know, dry sense of humor, but you know, he's so funny, and that is really important to me. Like, that is attractive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So focus on what make your partner is attractive. Because when she's feeling, oh my god, you know, this is the time of the month again, I'm still not pregnant, she feels quite unattractive. So if you can focus on what make her attractive to you, say it to her, communicate to her, it will make her feeling better, definitely. And then secondly, think of all the options, whether having an egg or sperm donor or adoption could help. So just simply being open-minded to what else possible if this is not our path, if this is not meant to be. And then thirdly, be compassionate towards your partner's hormonal changes.
Yeah.
Even if you go to the IVF way, she will become a lot more hormonal. You need to be patient with that, as she can be like, what do we say, a bridezilla.
Yeah. Oh yes, there's quite a few of those.
Yes, I have dealt with a lot of bridezillas in the past, being in a 5-star hotel. Yeah, otherwise it can break your relationship if you don't understand this, that she highly likely will become a lot more hormonal.
No, that's very true. We go through ups and downs, like again, with each cycle, and even more so with those going through IVF, because there's added financial pressure, there's more hormones, they could be more out of balance. So yeah, being there to support them. So what can the woman do? Because obviously the man may not voice his emotions, you kind of get a lot of men who don't like to show their emotions. It's not to say, they're not under the same stress and pressure. They just might not talk about it as much. What can the woman do to support their partner?
Yes. Number one, if he is the one that's infertile, don't judge him because he's infertile. For example, if in the past, he was a pot smoker and that's impacting on his fertility, that's not something that he can undo. So blaming him will not change the fact. Yeah. And secondly, if it is stress related, perhaps you can bring more fun into the relationship and reduce the cause of his stress as much as you can. And as I mentioned before, by doing the regular check-in, then you can ask, hey, how are you feeling about our journey? What we're going through right now? How are you feeling? And don't start with, hey, husband, we need to talk.
That's a good one. That'll
You
really
will
get
scare him like in a split second. Like, okay, I better run now. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. So understanding on both parts, I guess, and really checking in, like you said, because women are more open about their feelings and emotions, but it doesn't mean the man doesn't have feelings and emotions, or that they want a baby just as much. So there are some men that really are eager to be dads, and if the process is taking a bit longer, and it could be his own health his health issues that are the cause, it can definitely be like very disheartening and very sort of hit to the self-esteem if it's because of something that is his fault.
Exactly. Yeah. So especially if he's the cause of this infertility, then blaming him will not solve the issue.
It doesn't help the stress for either people. And if we're in a relationship long term, even those been married and already had kids, what would you say we could do to reignite this spark to the relationship, to keep this sort of love journey going? Because no one really wants to go through divorce lawyers, and it's the last thing you want when you're getting married, or even through stressful times. It can bring out the worst in us. Sometimes what we're going through this year can bring out sort of the worst side of us when we're going through stress. So what can we do to keep this spark in the relationship and keep this love going for a long time?
I will say number one is acceptance. Nobody's perfect. Like, we're not gods, right? We're only humans, so we're not perfect. Accept each other's flaws. Everyone has baggage. That's why it's very important to ask for help, professional help, to help remove our baggage and be sort of like an objective sort of eye looking into this union. So number one is acceptance, knowing that not everything in your life is under your control. COVID-19, for example, it's out of your control. How can we control this? It's not your fault, it's not my fault, so we need to accept this situation. I remember that Michael J. Fox once said, the more I expect, the more unhappy I'm going to be. The more I accept, the more serene I am. So now he's saying that probably in relation to his Parkinson's disease journey, but it applies really well to fertility journey too, or journey in our, like COVID stress at the moment. It really applies. The more you want to fight this COVID thing, the more unhappy you are, the more stressed you are. But the more you accept, okay, we're in this situation now.
This is the reality now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the reality. What can we do to enhance the quality of our life at this moment with this situation? So therefore, I become more serene. And secondly, once you accept that moment, for example, if you're infertile, it doesn't have to be forever, and you feel more serene about it. Have fun. So having fun is definitely one of my key secret to strengthening your relationship in whatever case scenario, because we as kids, we play a lot and we had fun, but then we
don't play as much
and we learn to be serious. You got to be more professional, in our studies.
You're an adult now. You can't be like a child.
Oh, you can't be like a child. We become so serious. Oh my God. And what about having fun? It's such an important ingredient to our recipe. So we can become a much better food. Our food becomes yummier because of this secret ingredient. Fun.
Yes. So what can we do to add more fun? What are some tips? Like, what are some fun things that couples can do?
Yeah. So what I do normally is I teach couples how to massage each other for relaxation, intimacy, and I give them couples coaching. But then in the coaching session itself, we have fun because that's just my personality, I guess. And yeah, it's incredible during the massage session. Yes, we're touching each other, and therefore we're more open, we're more relaxed, and we just giggle all the way because, well, obviously, nobody apart from me is a professional massage therapist. They don't know what they're doing. That's fine. That's fine. You're learning and you're having fun along the way. Yes, and ask for professional support. That's my third point to help reignite the spark to the relationship.
Yeah, and just going on some fun dates maybe. When was the last time, people had like a fun date as an adult? Like, just do something crazy.
Yeah.
We're so serious, especially if we've got kids of our own, they're having more fun than we are. And we're trying to be the responsible parent, but we should all just be like, 6-year-olds again.
Yes. Because especially once you become a parent, like, oh, your antenna is just up 24/7, right? It's like, what is she doing? What is he doing? Like, where is he? Oh, he's missing. You blink for 2 seconds and, oh my God, he's missing. Where is he? Right? Like, we need to learn how to relax as well.
Yeah, so true. So any last tips, would you say, Ingrid, on just, general health, well-being, and how we can really, just be so loving and just to even towards other people? Like I find, with this whole social distancing, we aren't, these social creatures, and these, it's very hard to really show that love and affection because we are just so segregated from other people and we're not socializing as much as we used to anymore.
Yes. I suffer big time because I'm a big hugger. My top love language is physical touch, just in case you cannot guess. I touch people for a living, and now we cannot hug each other.
Yes, you can do the elbow. You can touch them with your elbow.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
That's true.
Yeah, but it is the intention. I mean, everyone knows that we're suffering in terms of the physical connection that is, and just say, hey, I wish I can hug you right now, but we're not allowed at the moment, but that's okay. I'm here if you need me. So say it out loud. You need to be a bit more vocal instead of being more physical at the moment because we're not allowed. Be more vocal that I care about you. I believe that you care about me. If you have any troubles, please, I'm only a phone call away. So communicate that. Be more verbal.
And hug your partner, right? So we got to, if we've got a partner, hug them, or you can hug them and your kids. it's amazing, you know, how good a hug feels, you know, when you get that hug from your partner, or you get your son or your daughter to hug you. Oh, it
Absolutely.
gets those
Absolutely.
endorphins and love hormones going.
Yes, definitely. At the moment, my 5-year-old is like my plush toys.
Yes, same with my
I
4-year-old.
I can't stop cuddling her and
I
kissing
know,
her.
I
Sometimes she
know.
feels like, oh, mommy, that's enough.
Oh yeah, my daughter says enough now. Like one hug and one kiss, that's enough. You've overstepped. The second one is too much. She's like, enough now. But yeah, hug as many people as you can. You know, family. I think we all need that physical touch. We all just we're physical
We're
humans.
social being,
Yeah,
definitely,
so
definitely, yes.
so true. Well, it was so lovely to talk to you, Ingrid, and there were some great tips I'm sure our listeners will listen to, and hopefully, yeah, we got to spread the love, don't we?
Definitely. And if you need more help in the relationship area, you can give me a call or go to my website, www.kayangan.com.au. That's KAHYANGAN.com.au.
Beautiful. We'll put that
Yeah.
in the link. It
And
was
we
so
can chat more.
great. It was so lovely to have you on the call, and yes, such a fun personality you have.
Thank you so much for having me. Keep well.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everyone.